Good morning and welcome back for most of you who have been here around for almost 4 years. And it's my pleasure to welcome to the last SHARPC meeting under the funding, which does not mean that we will not continue. So you are going to see we have a lot of spin-off projects during the presentations. So what I'm going to do today is not to summarize what we have done, where we started. I'm going to tell you a story because it's too complicated. It's a big project. There's no way to summarize. I told some of you last night it's a collection of random things to some extent. But at the end, I hope you will get the big picture, the message, the things that we have been doing over the past 4 years. Again, my name is Jiajie Zhang. I'm the PI for this project, and we have a lot of collaborators across the country. You will see them during their presentation, so I will skip that part. So what I'm going to do here is to tell you how we got this started. Okay, about 4 years ago, there's something about EHR, a lot of challenges over there. So we had created a kind of a visual presentation about a story about patient. So look at this. Just imagine patient arriving at his physician's office, and he checks in and is repeatedly asked about his name, date of birth, and other identification information when the receptionist tries to identify the correct record. Okay? The patient is handed a clipboard with paper clips and pen and asked to complete forms that he has already completed and submitted it by fax the day before. And he still has to complete the form because they are not in his record, not in the computer. Upon being moved to the exam room, he stops to have his height and weight checked in an area with other patients. And the numbers are announced loudly. Everybody could hear. And so when the assistant finished the checking of the height and weight, and she tried to enter the data into the EHR, but apparently it took so long the EHR locked her out. Okay, she had to go back. When she went back, she forgot the weight and height. She called the patient back to redo the weight and height. Okay. So in the exam room, a lab assistant checks his temperature, pulse, and blood pressure. And she struggled to put in information into the EHR and asking the patient for drug energies and medications he takes regularly. But the patient already did that day before and in the fax. It was not in system, so it had to be entered again. So this time, he has to do it twice. So once the physician enters the room, he has difficulty logging into the EHR, and he struggles finding the correct patient record because the EHR's workflow does not match the clinics. The physician has difficulty finding the reason for the patient visit. Okay. Throughout the encounter, the physician stared at the screen instead of talking with the patient. So after the exam, the patient is given a general brochure and photo of Blu-ray paper copied education materials to read after it goes back home. As the physician talks to the patient, he is automatically locked out of EHR again because it's just for security reasons. So the physician logs back to write a prescription for the patient and checking all the alerts for some drug-drug interactions, but apparently he missed a very important one, which unfortunately had a bad consequence for the patient. Okay, so that's kind of a story for something in the past. We are already over this, and the question is where we are today and where we will go next. About 4 years ago, an ONC under the High Tech Act started a lot of projects to promote the adoption and meaningful use of EHR. And in a small program within ONC, there are 4 research projects called SHARP projects, to address many challenges for the EHR adoption and meaningful use. And we are one of the 4 SHARP projects across country. And the PI institution in UT Health, but we have 11 collaborating sites across country from East Coast to the West Coast. Okay, there are more than 100 people involved in this project. So that's how we got started. And the hope is to address many of the challenges that we saw in the story I just presented. So basically, from our SHARP perspective, we tried to categorize the challenges and the barriers in terms of the gaps between a system with good cognitive support and one without the good cognitive support. So in terms of user function, the interface, and workflow. So there are some comparisons of their contrast. The user part should be personalized instead of one size fits all. And a good function approach should have all essential functions and only the essential functions, instead of a system that has many overhead functions and also miss some essential functions that should be there. Okay. For the interface part, it should be intuitive, direct, transparent, structured, instead of confused, indirect, memory-based, and scattered. And for the workflow, it should be safe, effective, efficient, work-centered, instead of disconnected, redundant, unclear, and interruption-laden. So that's kind of approach we started from the very beginning, and we had multiple projects over there you're going to hear today. So we have a lot of products. So here is a small representative sample of what we have done across all the projects, all 5 major projects here. There are many different things over there. Here are the software products, some guidelines, some rules, whatever. So you're going to hear all about this today. So let me summarize about the kind of stages we have been going through. So in the past, it's over, okay? It's something not good and a lot of complaints. I hope it's over. But what we really need is something very, very good. We are not there yet. So hopefully we can get to that point sometime soon. And today we are actually right here. Still struggling, low emotion. We are trying to work hard to solve the problem. Okay, that's where we are today. So let me just give you kind of our vision of what the EHR should be in the near future. Hopefully, I don't know when, 5, 10 years, maybe 20 years. So in an idealized environment with a good EHR, again, I use the story to tell what it should be. So in this case, the patient arrives at his physician's office for a visit, where a camera in the waiting room uses facial recognition to recognize the patient, and instantly checks him into the EHR automatically. The records are retrieved automatically. And updated information can be entered by iPad. If he has any new information, he can do that. That will be transmitted to the EHR automatically. As the patient walks into the exam room, the sensors embedded in the floor measure his weight. The cameras on the wall can measure the patient's height and body temperature. And all this information is automatically entered into the EHR. When he enters the room by turning the knob is a sensor too that can measure heart rate and blood pressure. Okay, I mean technology is there to do this. So all of these are automatic. Once you walk through that, all the basic information is entered automatically. So when the physician enters the exam room where the patient's EHR has been automatically caught up on a large touch screen on the wall, and the physician uses speech recognition to capture his exam notes orders directly into the EHR system through a lot of technology, natural language processing, ontology, standards, all of this kind of things. It involves a lot of pieces of technology over there. So the physician discusses the treatment options with the patient and reconciles his medications using twin list developed by Ben's team. is on the wall to reconcile medications. And the physician then does the e-prescribing into the order by talking to the phone, the mic. Is ordered automatically there. And the patient education information is then automatically displayed. The physician talks a little bit, and the information is sent to the patient email through encrypted email system automatically. And at the end, the physician reviews everything and sign up by touch the screen. It's over, it's done. Okay, that's what it should be from our perspective. We do not know how far we are from this, but again, all the pieces of the technology are here today. The question is how to get them together to work. So that's the kind of challenge over there. So that's my brief introduction about SHARPC, and you will see all the details today through many presentations. Before I step aside, I want to introduce our mini keynote speaker, Don Norman. So Don has been involved in this project from even before the ONC SHARP program was started. Number one, Don was my PhD advisor almost 30 years ago. So I learned everything from Don about EHR usability. And Don also was a major contributor to the National Research Council's report on computational technology for healthcare. The ONC's RFFO coding support was entirely based on that report. So to some extent, actually, Don's contribution went to the RFA, went to SHARPC. So it makes a lot of sense to hear about what Don has to say about especially the future of health IT. And Don is a fellow of the National Academy of Engineering. And I just checked the Google citations. Don had like 56,000 citations over there, all academic, in published papers. And Don was a professor in many places, Harvard, UC San Diego, Northwestern, and another institution in Korea. And Don also was the vice president of Apple for some time. And after retirement, then went to Apple, then went to Northwestern, become a professor. And he is now a co-founder of the Lears and Norman Group, and also a fellow of design firm IDEA. So that's Don. Thank you for coming here and giving us advice for the past 4 years. So I want to see what ideas or suggestions you have for the team here.